And interestingly, early last year, the National Bureau of Statistics changed its model of grading unemployment. And so Nigeria's unemployment went from about 33 or 38% down to 4 point something percent. However, in February, even with the new calculation, it's now gone from 4 point something percent to 5%. And so unemployment seems to still be going higher, even though the numbers have, the system of checking it has been modified. How does this affect people? How does this affect Nigerians? How does this affect businesses? And we'll be having that conversation on the lifestyle segment today. Joining us,
we have Thank God Cyril, who is a software engineer and founder, Len Brett. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
And welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It sounds like we have tech bros with us today. Welcome to the weekend, Shen. I'll start with you. Talking about product unemployment and the conversation which we were just having, it's one thing for people to decide to be entrepreneurs or decide to start startups, but it's extremely important that you're either fixing a problem or delivering a great product. So my first question to you is, are you into the space you are in now because of passion, or was it as a result of the employment gap which we've been talking about? What about you? How did you get into your current space?
All right, thank you for having me. Mine started as a result of the need I saw. I grew up in the north, somewhere in Niger State, Suleja, to be precise. I've had this interest in young people younger than me, and I just wanted to create a platform where people can find hope, where people can have access to information and opportunity that can actually make their life better. So that was what led to me creating the platform called Lembread, because after COVID, I had not been around at home. So after COVID, I had to go back home to the family house to visit. And I discovered that majority of the young people in the community they involved themselves into fraudulent activities. And that was a concern to me. And I would tell them not to do things like that, but it did not stop there. I had to provide a solution or an alternative for them. So I decided to come up with a platform where people can actually come, learn, and when they learn, they can earn. That is, we're trying to encourage young people to know that there is power in knowledge and information, to encourage them to embrace learning. And apart from the fact that they are embracing learning, that the aspect of actually earning from what you learn is a journey. And wherever phase they find themselves in that particular journey, they should understand where they are currently and know how they can leverage the knowledge and information given to them to have a better life.
I think that's a great three-step process which I should use for a client. Come, learn, and if you follow those three processes, you'll do well in literally anything you want to do in this life.
Okay, thank God. Could you, he's told us about opportunities in the digital space. Could you share some challenges that could be faced in this? Because even your normal non-digital businesses in Nigeria, there are lots of challenges. Imagine now going into tech. What are those challenges that young people, or people who are interested, could face?
Okay. So one of the challenges that young people in tech would face is like he mentioned, experience is very important. Your ability to solve problems and mindset. So that's why myself and with the company I work with, we try our best to see how we can leverage to educate younger people to appreciate internship. For instance, those that the recent graduates, they should apply for opportunities where they can learn, just like the way he mentioned, and develop themselves. That is one challenge, experience, because some employers will tell you that they need a well-experienced developer, for instance, and you as a new graduate, you're just leaving the school. So how do you acquire this knowledge and all of that? So first, one of the challenges I would say young graduates face is the experience. So they need to acquire this skill. Forget about making money first. Learn. When you learn and you are able to build a product with the knowledge you acquire. For instance, let me say you're a fashion designer and you learn tailoring. There is no way you'll be able to make impact with that skill that you've learned when you don't act or do. So it is very important that in as much as you know that nobody is ready to employ you for the fact that you're just leaving school, so know that you need to use that opportunity to develop yourself, build capacity, and be able to channel what you've learned towards creating a product, because that is very important. It is not just enough to learn a particular skill, but what are you actually doing with that skill? What level of impact are you having in the society? Like, unemployment is a very critical issue. It doesn't just affect an individual. It is a societal problem, something that can affect the whole community. Most especially, you start having issues of insecurities, you start having issues of poverty, inequality, and all of that. But your ability to act with what you've learned, either in school or through internship, just like the program that 3MTT is coming up with, will actually help reduce some of these challenges in that particular space or environment where you find yourself. Yeah.
I remember you saying after the lockdown, you went back to Suleja and you said that a lot of young people were getting into fraud and the likes. Now, I've noticed that when we talk about unemployment, yes, there's the formal and informal sector, and there's a huge percentage in the informal sector, which I know dropped from about 3% to about 79. However, even for the educated and for those who have now managed to get these skills, for us to be able to make money and develop this nation, we need to be able to market our skills beyond the shores of Nigeria. But issues such as fraud plays a major role in hampering what we do. I'll give you an example of myself. I have a degree in computer forensics, cybersecurity, and I was in the UK for a while. And there were times I had applied to several jobs, but because I was a Nigerian in cybersecurity, I needed either a security clearance, or some people would just see your name and where you're from, and they don't trust you. The likes of Amazon, a lot of their sellers don't send stuff to Nigeria because they don't want it to be stolen credit cards, or they don't want delivery issues. How can we also fix the image of Nigerians in the employment market to ensure that people can have these tech skills, for instance, and work remotely from Nigeria without having to battle with the young Nigerian prince or the fraud cases? There are still a lot of romance cases. We see what young people are doing with Yahoo, and both of you, either of you, can answer this. How do we now fix that? Because it's a big problem, even if they've got the skills.
Okay. I would suggest, one of the first thing I would suggest is partnership and certifications. Yeah, so most companies have started doing that already. You see companies partner with other bigger companies, like the likes of Google, Microsoft, to see how they can bring in programs that can actually fill in that gap, you understand? So in a situation whereby you as a developer, you know you are skilled, you've acquired this skill, but at that point now there is an issue with trust, you get. So because of the something in quotes you get, it's not as if you are like that. But with the help of this partnership, for instance, Microsoft partnering with a particular company in Nigeria, it builds that level of trust that at least you went through this particular program and you've earned this certification. For you to go through this program, that means you know what you're doing. Exactly. So there is that level of trust. I think trust in that level or towards that aspect can help bridge that gap. Because even myself, I was into freelancing at some point. Like, I started software development in the year 2016, immediately after school. Yeah, so I noticed it was very difficult for me to get a job immediately. Most especially remote jobs. I did remote work at some point. One of the challenge was the Nigerian factor. Many people will tell you you have to go through proxy, stuff like that. And I wouldn't want to encourage that. So it is good that as Nigerians, we should be known for what we do, and we should be bold about it. That's why I talked about the aspect of acting on your skill. There are a lot of products out there built by Nigerians, and it is celebrated worldwide. Nobody will go out there and tell them, you are from Nigeria, we won't use your product because it is a... So when your product is actually solving a particular problem,
Yeah.
people will use it regardless of where you are from or your location. So I think, number one, certification, and secondly, acting on solving problems, regardless of the location. They would come and find you. I'm opportuned to work with a company. Yes, that's Unicorn Group of Companies. So Unicorn Group of Companies is the first company to build the humanoid robots in Africa. It's called Omifair AI. So you can check that out. Yeah. So this company is in Nigeria. Nobody knew about it. But the moment they came up with the first humanoid robots in Africa, Omifair AI is now everywhere, attending global conferences. Nobody is asking, are you from Nigeria? Or what part of Nigeria are you from? Are you sure we can do business with you? They've been able to see that tangible product that is actually making impact in the aspect of digital literacy, in the aspect of translation, artificial intelligence, and other areas. So I think that can also help to bridge that gap.
It's extremely important that ease of doing business is prioritized. You see a lot of business complain about multiple taxations. We see a lot of businesses complain about being over-regulated. We see a lot of businesses complaining about the exchange rate and how it affects their business. And so most people don't necessarily want to work for government. People just want to have jobs, sustain their businesses, and make money. And that would also fix the unemployment gap and also reduce fraud and crime. That's how much we can take on the lifestyle segment. We'll take a quick break. When we return, more on the weekend show.
Thank you for having us.